All right, I just pulled this brand new S23 Plus out of the box. I charged it up to 100%. I ate my breakfast. I fed the dog. I think it's time to start the day. Hey Google, turn on the studio lights. Ta-da! We're gonna do a little bit of a day in the life type video. It's a lovely rainy day outside and it's the perfect day to stay indoors and work on my Miata. Now I do have to go out and pick up a few things, but we'll do that in just a bit. First, this is a brand new S23 Plus. I haven't done anything to it, so let's put a little bit of personality into it. Okay, that's actually looking pretty nice. Nice and minimalist, I like it, it's good. We're gonna stick with that for now. After all this customization and filming and all that, we've dropped to about 95%. So we've lost 5% battery, which is actually pretty good considering we're up around 30-ish minutes of screen time, so. Before we move on and talk about the absolute killer feature of the S23, the S23 Plus, the S23 Ultra that pretty much nobody is talking about, I first need to take a quick minute to thank the sponsor of this video, AirLO. Getting affordable access to connectivity and cellular data can be tough. AirLO is the world's first eSIM store that solves the pain of expensive roaming bills by giving you access to affordable eSIMs that are available in 200 plus countries and regions. Listen, if you've ever been smacked with a data roaming bill while visiting another country, you know how frustrating it can be. And finding access to free Wi-Fi is not always possible. Plus, fumbling around with multiple SIM cards as you travel between countries isn't exactly an elegant solution either. They're tiny and very easy to lose, especially when you're in a rush. AirLO solves all of those issues and gives you instant connectivity from the moment you land in another country, as long as you've set up your eSIM correctly, of course. It's very easy to do, and AirLO has a full guide on both YouTube and in the app for you to follow. Once everything is set up, you can send and receive calls and texts from your original number, and you don't have to carry around any extra SIM cards. Click on the link in the description down below to get an eSIM from AirLO today. So the S23 series came and went without too much hype, not too much fanfare, which is a shame, honestly, because it's a great phone. I like it a lot. But there is one feature on these new phones that almost nobody is talking about, and I think it's actually a big deal. So you notice that background blur behind me? This video is shot in 4K and in portrait video mode. Honestly, it's doing a great job. It's got a complicated background back there with a lot of objects. I've got some wispies and hair. Yes, it is fraying my hair just a little bit at the edges every now and again, but if I didn't point that out, most people probably wouldn't notice, especially if you're watching on your phones. The S23 is actually a really, really good vlogging camera, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do this video. This is my 1990 Mazda Miata, and I've done quite a few things to it since I bought it late last year, but there are a few things left to do. As you can see, I need to replace the steering wheel and the gear shift knob that is currently sitting in my sim rig over there. And there's also some things under the hood, like the windshield washer reservoir that I'm gonna be working on in this video. So the stock mounting position for an NA Miata washer bottle reservoir is actually around right about here, but these things are plastic, they're cruddy, they're prone to cracking over time, and they don't look that great. So we're gonna replace it with something else. This right here is a solid steel washer bottle reservoir made by Dave Fab. And as you can see, I've kind of already done most of the legwork on this. I've replaced all the lines and I've run some of the electrical connections over to the wiring loom. But unfortunately, last night I did not have any flux or solder left. So I'm gonna actually have to go to Home Depot and pick up some of that stuff so that we can finish this job, get it mounted properly and test it out. So it looks like the sun's coming out to play a little bit, but man, it's still windy as heck out there. It's brutal. got our solder, we've got our flux, and it's about lunchtime, so let's go get some grub.
Thank you very much. You too.
It's about 1 o'clock and we're sitting at 76% with about an hour and a half of screen on time. Most of that is being used by that camera, of course, which is actually pretty good considering we're shooting a lot of 4K video. There's a lot of processing going on. Yeah, pretty solid battery so far.
Hello, Mr. Sir. Get you out of your crate now since I'm home.
We've got our solder, we've got our flux, we got all the stuff we need to start working on this Miata, but there's a problem. The problem is that the wiring loom is inside the car. I can't exactly remove it. So what I'm gonna have to do is lay something flat across the engine bay that I can solder on top of, just in case I lose any of that nasty stuff down inside the engine bay.
Negative first, always negative first, and then the positive. There we go. Now we don't have any risk of shorting anything. It's not the most elegant job, but hey, I'll take it.
Unfortunately, that was the easy one, because now I need to get down there with a soldering gun.
That is some forbidden chapstick right there.
If so dangerous, why look good to eat?
Okay then, all the cables are nice and soldered, they're all tucked away, snug as a bug in a rug, and all we've got to do is bolt this thing on, test it out. Yes! Victory! Oh, I'm getting myself wet. It works! That's the thing about working on cars, man. It doesn't need to be a super complicated job. It doesn't even need to take you very long. Like this one took like 3 to 4 hours. But when everything works, it feels so good. Any guesses as to what this is before I crack it open? You probably won't get it. Let me show you. It's something very special. It is the Lego Classic Defender 90 kit. I've been buying the latest Lego vehicle sets for like the past 1.5 to 2 years now because they have gotten so good at designing like realistic looking vehicles out of Lego. Like look at all the rack details and all the little accessories and stuff like that that you can add. And they're all optional. You can build it in several different ways. You can see right here on the top, they have no accessories. I think that's what I'm gonna do for most of the rest of my day. Let's go build. Before I do though, somebody wants attention and maybe a little bit of food.
Can I have a pop? Thank you. Spin? Good. Lie down. Good puppy.
It is 4:38 p.m. and we're sitting at 41%, which is actually really good considering our screen on time. Our screen on time is currently 3 hours and 36 minutes, which is actually really good considering the fact that almost all of that screen on time has been with the camera shooting 4K 30 FPS video in portrait video mode, meaning there's lots of processing going on in the background to try and put in that background blur all around me. So that's awesome. So while I build this beautiful Lego set, I think what I'm gonna do is put my favorite video podcast onto the S23 Plus and watch that while I'm building so that we can get a little more screen on time and see how the processor handles video and how that affects battery life. Let's go.
All right, so 2 hours later, this is where we're at. We got some suspension components, we got some of the baseboards done. That's pretty much it. I think there's like 15 bags and I've got 2 of them done. So I got a long ways to go. These things take a while to build, but I just wanted to check in on our battery life after 2 full hours of playing video online and out loud. So we are currently at 5 hours and 31 minutes of screen on time, which is actually fantastic, considering the fact that we still have 30% battery left. This phone will easily last you a full day. The S23 Plus is honestly a battery king. Well, folks, I think I'm gonna call it there. I gotta go make some supper and play with the dog so he's not lonely. I'm very impressed with the S23 Plus. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a great day.